Well, the World Bank says Cambodia has joined, quote, the Olympians of growth. The nation's Commerce Minister, Sun Chantal, joins us exclusively in our studio in Hong Kong this morning. Chantal, thank you so much for joining us. Cambodia, a beautiful country, but a lot of people underestimate it, and they shouldn't. Why?
Well, first of all, thanks very much for having me here. I think the perception of the country, I think people still think of Cambodia as a killing field, as a landmine country, but in reality it's not. It's very peaceful. The economy growing at an average of 8% for the last 10 years. Last year we grew 7.4%, and this year we expect to grow the economy by 7% again. So the situation is good. Politically, macroeconomic situation of the country is extremely good. That's why we'll be able to attract FDI to the country to create jobs for our people.
You've attracted FDI,
right,
no doubt, but you could attract a whole lot more. There's still some criticism about the ease of doing business in Cambodia.
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. We can attract more. So what we're doing right now, we do a major reform in our country. Our Prime Minister instruct all the line ministry. First he said, look at yourself in the mirror, take a good shower and scrub yourself, okay? So that's his instruction. So what we do, even my Ministry of Commerce, I spent the first 3 months doing a process mapping of exactly what are we doing, how can we improve, how can we reform. So we are in a process of automating a lot of systems, i.e. company registration. Today done manually, we're going to do it online. The issuing of the certificate of origin was done manually. We're going to do it online. So when we do all this online, we take the interface, the physical interface out between the government official and the private sector. When you do that, you cut down on a lot of unofficial payment, or what we should say, a corruption.
You're talking about corruption.
So we fight it very hard. We fight corruption very hard.
That is unfortunately, what still happens in so many places. Have there been efforts to weed it out? Look at Xi Jinping right now in China, this anti-corruption drive. We've seen both tigers and flies, as he put it, big officials to the smallest officials at a local level facing charges. Can we see anything like that coming out of Cambodia?
Absolutely. It's been happening now. We have a law, anti-corruption law, and we also set up anti-corruption unit in Cambodia. And they go after all of the young organizations, only 2 years old, but they go after the big, the small, in order to set example, in order to reduce the corruption. That is important. And we urge, ACU urge the private company in Cambodia to sign an MOU with them that they will play by the rule. So the first company who signed MOU is Coca-Cola, then Prudential, then we want more and more. They said, look, we will not bribe, period. So that a way we can, the private sector can help.
Well, let's talk about at the local level. You've got 600,000 garment workers in Cambodia. There are pressures still at a local level that those wages need to increase to $120 a month. But of course, competition is great here in Southeast Asia when it comes to labor. You saw in China, it all flowed through to Vietnam and Cambodia when those wages started to rise. How are you going to continue growth and still respect the rights of workers?
Good question. I think when we look at that minimum wage or the salary that they can live, we should look at the whole picture, the whole forest, not address only a single tree. So we look at the minimum wage, we also look to find ways to reduce the cost, other costs of doing business. If we reduce the transportation costs, if we reduce the processing fees cost for the exporters, those savings can be passed on to the workers so that to make sure that Cambodia is still competitive. You're absolutely right. If you can continue to raise the salary, then people move to other place. So raise salary, but in a way that still keep Cambodia competitive so that we can attract more FDI to the country. So we look at, how can we reduce also the cost of living in Cambodia, the transportation cost, the electricity costs and so on. So we can all that reduce. The whole operating cost will come down. Then they can use that saving to pass on to the workers.
It is very good to welcome you in our Hong Kong studio, and I will return the favor and head to Siem Reap in about a week from now and say hello. But what a beautiful country, and a lot of reforms needed, to be sure, but in the right direction. Sun Chantol, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Cambodian Minister of Commerce.
Thank you very much.